On November 30th, Jared Lee Loeffner went to a sporting goods store in Tucson, Arizona. There, he passed an instant background check and legally purchased a Glock 19 semi-automatic handgun for $500, thereby further enriching Gaston Glock, the founder and chairman of the Austrian gun manufacturer that makes 2/3 of its blood money on sales in the United States.
Hello again, okay, in this video. What'd you see there? Yeah. So what does that guy have to do with anything? Yeah. Because he's making his blood money, right? Because he's selling clips to guns, right? So because the guy manufactures parts for guns and sells clips that hold lots of bullets, he's selling blood money, is he? No, not really. Let's take a look at your government. Let's take a look at our military. Where are we at? We're in an illegal war. What are we doing? We're shooting and killing innocent people. And we're justifying it because we're saying we're fighting a phony war on terrorism, right? What you're seeing really going on here is another move after your guns. Watch up, I got something else to show you.
Loeffner then bought bullets at Walmart, which has issued a statement tonight saying the company is cooperating with the investigation, but neglected to include a word of regret or apology for actually selling bullets to a homicidal maniac.
Oh, what'd you see there? Oh, wow, yeah. So now Walmart should take responsibility for actually selling bullets to a maniac, psychotic, sick of the head person, right? Gotta really think about that a minute. You know why? The guy didn't have a criminal record. The guy walked in and filled out a permit. Nobody knew who he was, filled out the paper. Nobody knew who he was. They don't know him personally, okay? So, like any other customer, he passed the criminal check, passed the background check, right? Bought the gun. Went and bought bullets for it. But this guy here is assuming that you should know somebody's psychotic by looking at them. Doesn't that sound like our society going by looks? Yes, it does. Let's see what else has got to be said.
Well, Lawrence, certainly I've been fighting for the reduction of large capacity clips for probably about 16 years now. We got it passed in the assault weapons ban, but as you know, it expired in 2004, and so now we're seeing again on the streets the large capacity clips. You know, our police officers, our military, I understand them having it, but for an ordinary citizen to have that many bullets in a clip, and by the way, the person that was doing the shooting, you know, in his pockets he had many, many more clips in there, and it was only a miracle that he wasn't able to again re-engage a clip into the gun. How many more people would it have taken out? So I'm hoping that I can, but you know the way Washington is. It's going to be a battle. There's no two ways about it.
Yes, I do. I know the way Washington is. I understand it, and it's not going to be a battle. That's a scam. It's not going to be a battle. Well, no, it will be a battle. I mean, it's not going to be a battle with Washington and her, because they're on the same side, okay? The battle is with the people trying to keep their arms. Because, you know, as the old saying goes, give an inch and they'll take a mile, okay? We already know that Barack Obama, before he became president, had already made it plain and clear that he was against guns, okay? That he didn't mind taking guns away from people, okay? And if you don't buy that, don't believe that, go do a little research. Oh, never mind. I know you're too fucking lazy, right? Excuse my language, but for the majority of you, you won't take the time to do that, will you? No. You'll just assume, won't you? Because it's much better, right? Like that reporter assuming that you can look at somebody and know that they're psychotic just by looking at them. Chances are you won't know, okay, by looking at them. I mean, the guy walked in there, nobody knew him for Jack Adam. He talked to him probably just like you and I would talk to each other, and he passed the criminal check, and he fucking got his gun, and now we're saying this crap? What a bunch of hogwash. What we know for real is they're going to use this to try to get these clips in, and if you let them get this far, then they're going to take the mile. Because you give them the inch, and then they take the mile, and the mile will be they'll take your guns. Watch out.
There's been a lot of talk about spreading blame or responsibility beyond just the gunman in political directions toward people who've used different kinds of rhetoric. What about these Austrian executives who run the Glock gun manufacturing company that could not exist without its exports into the United States? What about the president of Walmart, where these bullets were purchased for 22 cents each? It cost exactly 22 cents to put a bullet through the head of a congresswoman. 22 cents to kill a federal judge, thanks to Walmart. Should those executives be brought into this discussion of who's responsible?
Now, after seeing that, you're going to tell me they're not after your guns? Oh, yes, they are. They're going to use this to try to push getting your guns away from you again, or your ammunition, one or the other. And you hearing there? Should we bring other people in? Shouldn't they be responsible? Yes, we should. We should bring other people in. We should bring the Rothschilds in. We should bring the Rockefellers in. That's right. We should bring Obama in. We should bring Bush in. We should bring Cheney in. You want me to keep going? I can name off a whole list of names that need brought in. Because you're going to fucking worry about this little shit right here. Not that this guy was right. Not that what happened was right. Because it wasn't. But you people better get your heads out of you know what. We're in an illegal war. Our troops are killing people, innocent people, every fucking day. You go into another person's country that's done not a damn thing to you, and you just take your guns and go on over there and blow up their buildings and kill their women and kill their children and kill their fathers, destroy families, rape the women, rape the children, and that's what we're doing. See, we're the terrorist. That's right. We are the terrorist, okay? We're going to worry about this? No. See, if you want to ask my opinion, this entire thing is a scam, and this thing right here, well, my personal opinion is the guy you're talking about, and the government, well, they're all working together on this, okay? The guy that's being prosecuted right now for doing the crime, well, he's the government's patsy. Now, that's just my opinion, okay? That's all that is, because I happen to know that this guy here is going to be just happening to have the same attorney that Timothy McVeigh had, that the Unabomber had. What's the coincidental there, huh? Think about it. What's so coincidental about that? And then the fact that, well, there's just too much that meets the eye here, okay? I was waiting to see what they were going to try to push for, but now I see where it's going, okay? They're after your guns again. That's exactly what this is about. They're after your guns again. They're trying to justify more rules. And I know you're going to say, well, no, they're only after stuff and clips that hold that many bullets because nobody needs that many bullets in a gun. Well, maybe we should pass that law into effect for cops and military and everybody. Because after all, we are in an illegal war. We are killing innocent people by the millions. Okay? And that's no lie. And you don't want to do anything about that. It's not the gun doing the crime. The gun don't do the crime. It's the person holding the gun that does the crime. You talk about how many people are killed every year by guns? Well, did you ever look around just see the way we're treating one another? Did you ever open your eyes and wonder why it happened again is here? Maybe you might want to do that. Think about that, huh? Anyhow, watch this news report. Leave your comments and opinions. Next video, you have a good one.
On November 30th, Jared Lee Loughner went to a sporting goods store in Tucson, Arizona. There, he passed an instant background check and legally purchased a Glock 19 semi-automatic handgun for $500, thereby further enriching Gaston Glock, the founder and chairman of the Austrian gun manufacturer that makes 2/3 of its blood money on sales in the United States. Loughner then bought bullets at Walmart, which has issued a statement tonight saying the company is cooperating with the investigation, but neglected to include a word of regret or apology for actually selling bullets to a homicidal maniac. In Arizona, any resident over the age of 18 without a criminal record can buy or possess a firearm. Last July, a new law also made it legal for any resident age 21 or older without a criminal record to carry a concealed weapon. And those guns can be taken almost anywhere, including inside the state capitol building. The 33-round high-capacity magazines allegedly used in Saturday's shooting were at one time banned under federal law. That law, part of a broader 1994 assault weapons ban, expired 7 years ago under President George W. Bush. Congresswoman McCarthy, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and thank you very much for being the only politician to step forward with the only real response to what happened on Saturday in Tucson. Thank you very much. The magazine used on Saturday holds 33 bullets, and the 31 shots were fired, hitting 20 targets, 6 dead, 14 injured. Do you think you can get your colleagues in the wake of this tragedy to look at those magazines and say there is absolutely no reason for people to have those magazines other than the intent to kill a lot of people? Therefore, federal law should exclude those high-capacity magazines.
Well, Lawrence, certainly I've been fighting for the reduction of large capacity clips for probably about 16 years now. We got it passed in the assault weapons ban, but as you know, it expired in 2004, and so now we're seeing again on the streets the large capacity clips. You know, our police officers, our military, I understand them having it, but for an ordinary citizen to have that many bullets in a clip, and by the way, the person that was doing the shooting, you know, in his pockets he had many, many more clips in there, and it was only a miracle that he wasn't able to again re-engage a clip into the gun. How many more people would it have taken out? So I'm hoping that I can, but you know the way Washington is. It's going to be a battle. There's no two ways about it, but this is common sense. It has nothing to do with guns now. It's a part of a gun, and I happen to believe strongly, like you do, that we could have saved lives that day. We could have saved injuries that day. So I'm hoping that my colleagues, and I'll be working them, certainly I reached out to my leader, Nancy Pelosi. I have a call in to the new speaker, John Boehner, and I will be talking to members on both sides of the aisle to have them understand that this shouldn't happen again, and they shouldn't be allowed for an ordinary citizen to own.
There's been a lot of talk about spreading blame or responsibility beyond just the gunman in political directions toward people who've used different kinds of rhetoric. What about these Austrian executives who run the Glock gun manufacturing company that could not exist without its exports into the United States? What about the president of Walmart, where these bullets were purchased for 22 cents each? It cost exactly 22 cents to put a bullet through the head of a congresswoman. 22 cents to kill a federal judge, thanks to Walmart. Should those executives be brought into this discussion of who's responsible for what's happening in gun violence in this country?
I think everybody should be brought into the, the talks that we're going to be doing. You know, when you think about it, that here in the United States, 10,000 people a year are killed by gun violence. If you want to add the total up to 30, those that committed suicide and those with accidental deaths. There is a responsibility into owning a gun. There's no two ways about that. But with that being said, I think everybody should get into this conversation, and instead of the rhetoric that we're hearing all the time, we need to do something, because not only is it killing people, not is it only injuring people, think about what it's costing our health care bill every single year. It comes over to $1 billion a year for those that survive. And I think that we're paying for it, the American people are paying for it, and I think that people can own guns, but there has to be a little bit more responsibility coming from those that own guns, saying we need to do something to stop all this violence.
Congresswoman McCarthy, you got into politics because your husband was killed, your son was wounded on the Long Island Railroad in one of these insane shooting sprees that occurred in 1993. Gun control has been your cause. Do you worry that in all this talk about, you know, what did Sarah Palin say and what did Rush Limbaugh say today, and all the talk about, you know, the rhetoric that's out there, we are going to lose focus on what killed those people, which was a gun legally sold to a madman in a country that is intent on preserving the madman's right to obtain firearms and shoot at people?
You know, it's a big problem. After the Virginia Tech shooting, I was able to pass legislation, the NICS bill, which basically has to do with background checks. And I was able to convince my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, and it passed the House, passed the Senate, and President Bush signed that particular bill, that someone has been adjudicated to be mentally ill cannot buy a gun. Obviously, you don't want to see a gun going into the hands of those that are mentally ill. With that being said, unfortunately,